Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of Forever Faithful Podcast. I'm Brandon Farino, joined by my co-host Christian Dyer. We are back, ready to talk training camp, and we are exactly a day away from start of football season. How we doing, Christian?
Good, man. I'm past ready for football to start. It's taking too long.
For real, I'm so ready. Let's go ahead and start off with the formalities real quick. Go ahead, guys. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a follow on Twitter, FFPod49. Give us a follow on Instagram, Forever Faithful Podcast. And like us on Facebook as well, Forever Faithful Podcast. So we're going to go ahead and start off the show with the first week of training camp. Talk about how everybody looks. We'll talk about Nick Bosa, how he looks after his ACL injury, and Jalen Hurd after his injury. Do you want to go ahead and start it off? What are your thoughts on the first 7 days of training camp?
Well, it's been kind of chaotic. I mean, I guess on Twitter at least.
Yeah,
Dude, like Trey Lance throws one beautiful pass and everybody's like freaking out, and Jimmy's already, benched. So it's kind of wild.
seriously.
It's kind of wild because I feel like I'm just kind of like sitting in the background while everybody
Mm-hmm.
else like freaks out. I'm kind of just like, I'm excited, but I'm just waiting to see what happens. Like, I'm not going to make really too many inferences because you never know what's going to happen, and I can't trust anything Kyle Shanahan says.
Yeah,
So
I
he's
agree
telling
with
us
you on
one
that one.
thing, and then he's doing something else while he's telling us one other thing, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
I'll just wait and see when it actually happens. Um, but when it comes to the guys that are coming back from injury, it's getting me excited because it seems like they're doing really well. Like Bosa looks really good, and he's looks like he's planting on that knee really well and moving and
Mm-hmm.
cutting on the knee really well. I know
Yep.
he's wearing the brace, but he still looks like he's got that burst, and he should be hopefully back to his old self pretty soon. I would
Mm-hmm.
be surprised if the first couple games he's still kind of getting his feet. Maybe just because you're still worried about the injury and he's got to kind of get back in a groove. Um, but I'm excited. I think the most thing I'm excited for is seeing D Ford healthy.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
definitely.
any of us thought that would be a possibility, and now that we're seeing like we were talking about our D line, and to think like D Ford could
Mm-hmm.
possibly help us, especially on third down. Man, I'm excited. Like with, I just can't even think
You
about
get
what
the
it's gonna be
chills.
like, man.
You
Oh,
get
dude,
the chills and
oh
everything.
for reals. Thinking about like what we're gonna do to quarterbacks. I mean, just
It,
like the thing too with Ford and Bosa, and to see how much it's gonna help Kinlaw um, get better.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
It blows my mind.
definitely. And especially having Epicam too as well. I mean, it's our defensive line is going to be phenomenal. Um, the opposing teams better be ready and be afraid because we're coming after their QBs for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. And then, I mean, if D Ford's like his old self, even just a little bit, and then Nick Bosa gets back to form, dude. I mean, how do you stop that? And then you have to deal with a freaking tank that Kinlaw is in the
Mm-hmm.
middle, and then that's only going to make Armstead better again. Maybe he'll be more about his 2019 form with all those guys surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Um, so like you said, Nick Bosa's looking good. He looks like his old self from 2019. Um, I also want to talk about Jalen Hurd a little bit. What do you think so far with Jalen Hurd? I know he missed a practice, but that's for precaution. Um, but I mean, I believe he was in pads today, right? He practiced today in
Yeah.
pads.
Yep. He
So I
practiced
mean,
today.
what do you think so far seeing Jalen?
I mean, he's probably the player I'm most excited to see play in general in the regular
Mhm.
season, just because we've had 2 years of hype and
Yeah.
nothing to show for it yet, except
Mhm.
for
The preseason.
the preseason that he did really well, in which
Yep.
you get more excited, and then just I think it was the first year was a back injury, and then the past one he tore the ACL. So
Mhm.
I just I'm really excited, and I hope he stays healthy. Like every day that I hear about camp, I just like am cringing, hoping I don't hear anything bad happened. So I'm super excited to see him play, but I'm also super nervous
Yeah.
that he stays healthy. But I think Kyle's taken a lot of precautions with our guys that are coming back from injury, because it seems like if he feels like they need to have some time off to rest, he gives them he gives them some time off. Like Bosa, I think Bosa had another rest day today or something like that.
Yeah.
So like he's given our guys a lot of rest days, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah. Same here. Um. So we had a comment from Kyle. Is Jimmy G going to have his best season yet?
If he
What
if
do you
he
think, Christian?
if he plays, it's hard to say, because with all the craziness going on, if he's even going to play, because I know Lance is looking really good. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna tell us more when we actually see him play, in preseason and everything. But if Jimmy plays, yeah, I think he'll have his best season.
Mhm.
But it also there's factors. It depends. Like if he has to be confident, and I'm I think he's very possible he has his best season ever, but I'm still worried about his confidence, because when I'm hearing in practice that he's double clutching and then holding on to the ball too long, that doesn't tell me his confidence is very good. So
Yeah.
I know it's early, and I don't really take too much into training camp as some others do. I kind of just like, it's training camp. You can get a little bit of it, but I don't like take it as much as I would like watching a game, or even preseason. So I'm a little worried now, because it doesn't sound like his confidence is fully like there yet. But I want to see him play in a game and see what it is, and see if he's still kind of uh, if he's still gonna be a gunslinger and freaking whatnot when the game comes. Because if he's gonna be hesitant and double clutching all the time, hold on the ball too long, like then I don't see him playing for very long, because his you know inability to be confident, when you think about it, that's why I think it's cost us, like um, with the sacks, because he takes a lot of sacks because he holds onto
Mhm.
the ball too long, and then there's the double clutches, and which has caused a lot, I think, of interceptions and poor throws, games
Yeah.
that we could have won when he made some bad throws, stuff like that. So I think if he's confident, I think he has his best season, because he has the ability, because like post or pre ACL injury, he was a much different quarterback, and I don't know if he's ever mentally gotten back from that. Even though we got to the Super Bowl after that injury, I don't think he's the same quarterback he was before the injury. So
Yeah.
if he can ever get to the point mentally where he is that quarterback, he would have his best season.
Yeah. Well, so let's get a little warm up talk about the quarterback position, but I kind of want to leave that towards the end of the show. But I kind of want to go back to how you think the rookies are doing so far in the training camp, and what do you think? What do you expect from them? You think we're seeing them, maybe possibly starting once the season starts, or they going to be backups? What do you think?
I mean, I'm hearing good things. I've heard good things about Trey Sermon. He's a beast,
Yeah.
and he runs. He pretty much, best way to put it, he plays with, like, he runs with authority, kind of thing. He runs strong and heavy. So I think we need that with kind of like the more finesse guys we've had lately with the running backs. It'd be nice to have a guy that's stout and runs heavy, and hopefully can stay healthy too. Um,
Yeah.
so I think um, he's doing really well. Keep getting mixed signals about Thomas, but I think he'll be just fine. I think the rookie out of Oregon too, the other corner's doing all right. But who's that receiver that apparently is coming out of nowhere? Um,
Um,
the one that
I
caught the touchdown for the bomb from Lance.
Trent. Trent. God, what's his last name?
Is he a
We're
rookie? I
Zach
didn't even
and
hear.
Matt. Zach and Matt were just talking about him. Sheffield.
Yeah, is he a rookie? This is the first time I heard of him when they were saying he caught that touchdown pass.
What's up, Hung Fat? How's it going? Sorry about that. But
So
yeah. I started barely hearing about him too. Hung Fat said he was with Arizona for a couple years.
oh, okay.
Um,
I haven't
but
done any
I'm
research
hearing
on him.
I'm hearing a lot of good things about him though, for sure. I think we're like, so I was listening to Zach and Matt earlier on their show, Red and Gold
Hmm.
Standard. And Zach actually asked if are we do we see Trent Sheffield as a wide receiver 3? Um, that could be possible, but I don't know. Like it's kind of up in the air because I know it's just training camp. But what do you think, Christian?
It seems to me like the receiver three might be a rotation as of now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just going to be depending on the scheme, depending on the play, who like what play's being called at the time, who's going to be in there. Because Sanu's apparently balling out. Um,
Hmm.
then the Sherfield guy's looking good. Um, so I think it's just going to be, and then Hurd would also be the receiver three when he's in if he's healthy. So I think it's just going to be by committee at this point. There's so many schemes that Kyle has and so many different things he's going to be doing, especially when Lance finally gets in there. I think it's going to be more rotation thing and based on the play that they're calling. Um, so, but I also the rookie Watkins Jr. that's been running with the
Hmm.
first team, and he's an
Yeah.
undrafted free agent, and apparently he's been doing pretty well. I think
Hmm.
he's caught a touchdown or two already too. So we got a lot of guys that look like they can do something. Um,
We got a comment from Joey. What's going on, Joey? How you doing, man?
so, bro,
Sheffield wide receiver 5. I have him taking Richie James' roster spot. Okay. I see him. I could possibly see him maybe taking even James's spot on kick returns and punt
well,
returns.
I was gonna say
Possible.
if he's gonna take James's roster spot, it's gonna be because they decide to put Ayuk down to return kicks, which
Hmm.
everybody's yelling about, but apparently Ayuk said he wants to. I
Hmm.
don't know if that's true or not, but I guess it would make sense if we're gonna, have somebody we feel comfortable replacing James returning, because I like him as a returner. So um, he could take Richie James's roster spot because uh, James, he's he's much better returner than he is actually having him out there receiving. But he did have that one game where he went off, if you guys remember. So it's um,
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, everybody was injured too. So I mean, Mullins was only throwing to him basically. You know what I mean?
true. But he did kind of go off against with nobody else. He showed up, so it's like it just it's I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the team though, because with all the guys and all the receivers we have, somebody's gonna have to
Hmm.
get cut, and has been there a while, but we'll just have to wait and see. But
Yeah. Hung Fat says Elijah Mitchell should return kicks. I
yeah,
can see that happening.
he's the is he that other running back we took, or is he the other receiver we took in the draft? I'm trying to remember because we took that other running back right
Yes.
late after Sermon. We took another running back that was supposed to be like a returner and possibly be a receiver. Is that him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then. I could see him doing it.
Our boy Matt Richie might not make it. I think Sheffield takes a spot. I agree. I honestly agree.
Well, I mean, he's
Honestly.
the way he's playing in camp right now. It makes sense because he's
Yeah.
showing up.
Iborg 35, if I pronounce that right. The def is a good problem to have. 6th round, Elijah Mitchell. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think our draft picks. I think we did really well, and I think they're going to
I think
contribute.
so too.
So,
I think it's
um,
gonna be a. I feel like it will be a hard decision when once that they have to cut down to the 53 man roster.
mhm.
Of course, I mean preseason has to start first, and we'll see everybody play and see how they look in game time. But I still think it'll be a difficult decision, and maybe half of them go on the practice squad. Who knows? You know.
Well, yeah, like you never know, but if Sherfield's like kind of already building like some chemistry with Lance, they're going to want to keep
Hmm.
him around, even if Lance isn't starting right away. It
Yeah.
make it if he's which it already seems like in camp they're building some kind of relationship. So if
Yeah.
that's the case, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't keep him around. Um,
Hmm.
you know, even though he deserves to be kept around, but I mean, whether or not Lance starts right away, he's going to be on the team because whenever Lance does finally step in, they're going to want him to have somebody he's comfortable with, and feeling
Yeah.
comfortable throwing the ball to, being a rookie. So um, I just I want to get going here and like see these guys play so I can kind of have a better idea and make some like a better judgment of what might happen. Because it is
Me
hard to
too.
kind of base it off just the clips we see of training camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Um. I was gonna say too is I'm kind of liking this whole like this rookie hype thing that they're doing every day. It kind of pumps me up and gets me ready for the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm excited to see that guard out of Notre Dame play.
Yeah, me
Dude,
too.
like I think he's gonna be good, and I think he was a good pick. So I'm excited to see how well he
I'm
does.
yeah. I'm just like, can it be next Saturday ready? Like, I just want to see everybody play, man.
Oh,
I'm
I know,
so ready
dude.
for football to start.
I'm I'm so excited.
Yeah, the boy Aaron Banks. That's his name.
Oh,
He's
dude. I think he
big
starts
boy.
day one. I think he starts day one, and I think he's gonna be a freaking beast.
Well, I was also gonna say too, because once again, Matt and Zach talked about this. Um, the Fred Warner said that you can see the difference on the O line. Like it's just complete difference compared to last year and the year before that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
see, and that's a big thing when talking
Thank
about
you,
our
Hunk
O
Fat.
line.
Yeah,
That's a big thing when it talks about our O line that I'm kind of like
yeah,
curious about is you know to be fair to Jimmy, he hasn't always had the most time to throw behind our pass protection.
mhm,
So you give Jimmy a little bit more time to make some decisions, that he's not had since he's been with us. It's going to be kind
yeah,
of interesting to see how much of a difference it might make,
yeah, definitely.
which we can't see in training camp. We won't be able to see it until game time. So
Till game time, exactly.
going back to is Jimmy going to have a really good season? The offensive line could make a difference, big difference in
It could.
that. So, you know, um, I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy balls out, especially with a little bit of extra time to to stand in the pocket.
Yeah. Uh, Matt, pretty sure Hall of Fame game is tomorrow. Yes, it is. Starts at 5 o'clock on NBC. If everybody's wondering. So I'm pretty excited for that. But I'm just ready to see my Niners play.
Yeah, I won't even be able to watch. I'll be getting tatted at that time tomorrow. So
Oh, watch out. Okay, I see you. That's cool. That's cool. I kind of want to go on to George Kittle real quick. I saw him. I believe it was today's practice. Working with Jordan Matthews. Um, Let me see if I can pull up a clip real quick because I actually did see him. Um, Hold on real quick. Let me share real fast. Share screen. Boom. Boom. So there's Jordan Matthews right here and George Kittle's working with him. But that was kind of a surprise. Um, Having him go from wide receiver to tight end. What are your thoughts on that, Christian?
I mean, you can see clearly in the tape, like see when you see pictures of him,
Yeah,
he's gained weight, and he's
yeah,
not he's not slim like he used to be. I don't have a problem with it. Like I know everybody's like making jokes about it, but the guy doesn't have any quit, man. He's he's got a lot of heart. The fact that he's been cut, and keeps coming back. I
Yeah,
want a guy. I want a guy like that doesn't quit. The guy's
yeah,
got a ton of
definitely.
heart, and we need it. We need another tight end. I think
Hmm.
one that could, like another pass catching tight end. I know we got Ross Dwelly, but I think he's more for run blocking. He's really good blocker, so we can use him in the pass game. But adding another tight end that we know is going to catch the ball well, and I don't have any. I kind of like the idea of having a receiver turn tight end,
Hmm.
especially because he's working with one of the best tight ends in the game on his mechanics and stuff. Um, I like Jordan Matthews because of the heart that he has, and I'm excited to see if the whole tight end thing works out and he gets a roster spot, and how it works because I would really like to see if there's a chance where we get to do two tight end sets with Kittle and Matthews and kind of see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to depend on whether or not he can block, which being a receiver and gaining weight,
Yeah.
he has more of ability to block, but whether he knows how to block really well is kind of a factor. Um, so
So Joey said, Kittle said Matthews has improved his blocking a lot since attending tight end university.
well, it makes sense because everybody wants to say that uh, Travis Kelce's the best tight end, but overall, Kittle's a great pass catcher like Kelsey, but Kittle's also the best blocking tight end in the NFL.
Yes,
So
sir.
if he's being, it makes sense that the best blocking tight end is
Yeah.
coaching him up. So I'm
Yep.
not surprised that there's going to be improvement. So um, the fact that Kittle's taking him under his wing and been really helping him, makes me feel like he's going to get a roster spot, and we might even see him play this year at tight end. So, which I want to see him do. He was out there, catching passes for Lance's pro day. He's just been around. He's always there.
Yeah.
So I want to see
Yeah.
it finally pay off for him and him to get a roster spot.
Yeah. Same. I'm really excited to see him for sure, especially during the preseason, because that's when we're really going to see um, how he works at the tight end position. Um, but just real fast, Hung Fat, thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. Um, and then let's I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. We're gonna talk about Jimmy G and Trey Lance. 49ers Twitter has been going crazy the past couple days. Um, Me personally, I love what I'm seeing from him, but like I said before, it's just training camp right now, and I still believe in Jimmy G. Um, as long as he doesn't get injured, I still see him taking us far. There's a reason why he has a winning record too when he plays. So um, I say if we see him this year, it's probably gonna be the back end of the season if we're doing well to where Jimmy doesn't have to start. Um, what's your take on that?
See, I agree with you because I still
Mhm.
I don't have an issue with Jimmy G. I mean, I've always liked Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I I just some people make a good point though that if the way we're seeing Lance play and if he can actually play that like that in the game, does it make sense to play Jimmy G? It's a good question. Is a really good question because like if Lance can do it and make all the throws and not turn the ball over, which he doesn't do anyways.
Mhm.
He didn't in college at least. With Lance, we automatically have an extra element with his legs, and then apparently all the schemes that Kyle's freaking, you know, masterminding every day, like an evil genius. And like the other day, he was Lance and I don't know if it's today. I think it was today. Lance and Debo were working on like possible like option plays and stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, what were they going to do? What could they do with that? More trickery, so there's more movement before the play. And I just could you imagine the stress that's going to put on defenses where you got to worry about, who Debo's if he gets the ball behind the backfield,
Yeah.
he's going to make plays. Then you got to worry about Trey Lance keeping the ball and taking it. And on top of that, try to
Hmm.
worry about freaking our tight ends over the middle. It's going to be so much for defenses to try to understand this offense, especially when Trey Lance is in there. And even if he's not, you know,
Starting.
fully ready to be like throwing the ball like amazing,
Yeah.
our ability to run is just going to,
Yeah.
I think it gives us just as much of a chance to win. So it's hard to say. Is it worth just running with Jimmy and letting Lance get better, or just running with him? But I mean, if we're just going to have Jimmy sit, then we might as. I mean, I understand that we'd start him as well because I mean, he's taking up a lot of money. So
Yeah.
it, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if they think Lance is ready, maybe they'll play him. But it's really hard to say because there's good. Oh, what word? I can't even think of it. People have good arguments on each side.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. I agree.
because
To me personally, they were also saying too that they're running like packages with Trey. Um, and I mean, that's gonna be scary for opposing teams to see right there. I'm just gonna put that out there real fast. But I mean, I could see that happening during the season sometimes, kind of like what the Saints did, with Taysom
mhm,
Hill. And but then again, I'm like, do they really want to risk him getting hurt too if they do that?
yeah.
But
But if you're gonna do that, just start him.
exactly. Um, I feel like yes, it's only training camp, and we still have preseason to watch as well. Um, but like Kyle's been saying the past couple days, there is no controversy between with the quarterback position. Um,
Yeah, but do you believe him? Because
for
I don't.
all we know, because look what he did during the draft, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't give us any reason to trust him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I mean, it's. I guess we just have to wait for preseason, honestly, to see how Trey plays, see how Jimmy looks after injury. Um, People were complaining about how he threw a couple interceptions. I think it
It's
was
training camp.
yesterday or 2 days ago, and I'm like, it's just training camp. Jimmy G. I mean, there's a reason why they're practicing right now. There's
It's
a
just
reason
training
why,
camp.
so they could work on mistakes that they do in training camp. So then they don't do that same mistake during the game. Uh yes, like they said, Fred Warner read Jimmy's eyes and it went right to Fred Warner. But to me personally, another thing I'm kind of up in the air about right now too is, do you feel like Jimmy is still in like the scared mindset with his past injuries, and that's why we're not seeing him at his full potential?
Well, yeah, that's my biggest fear, dude. Is like I said earlier, it's his confidence with the injuries and stuff, and his confidence. It worries me. Like
Yeah,
hearing him double clutch the ball or hold on too long and then make bad decisions because of it tells me his confidence isn't there. So maybe I'm wrong, but and I'm not there looking, I'm not there watching.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean, that worries me. That's why I want to see him play and see if I can
Hmm.
notice a difference in his confidence because I can see it when I'm watching the game. I can see it.
Yeah,
So I need to watch him play and see his demeanor and his, how the way he carries himself when he's playing. That'll tell me a lot.
yeah, that's true. Joey says stressing the defense vertically with a misdirection and making the defense play 11 on 11 in the run game is what Trey brings to the table. You can keep that on the bench for long.
Yeah, I think he meant to say you can't keep it on
You
the bench for
can't.
long.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I agree because I mean, you think all the things that Trey can do, like even if the play breaks down, what do you do with a guy who can take off and run, but
Hmm.
also he can take off and run and then throw it 50 yards downfield for a bomb off his back foot? How do you defend
Exactly.
that? How do you
50
defend
yard
well?
bomb.
How do you defend when you fake an end around to Debo, right? And do a run pass auction, you fake an end around to Debo,
Yes, he
and
is.
then he decides, decides to be a pass play, and you're worried about that, so you're following Debo, and then you get somewhat of a rush, and freaking Lance breaks out of the pocket, and you think you have him, and then there's a guy wide open 50 yards downfield, and he off his back foot just freaking launches it. How do you defend that? But all these things you're trying to freaking figure out at
Mm-hmm.
once, like there goes the end around that's a fake. And the quarterback, oh, you have him. Oh, no, he can run away. And he just, instead of deciding to run off his back foot, throws a 50-yard bomb to the receiver.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
how do you plan for that? How do you defend that when he can do so many different things in the offense?
Yeah.
And
Um,
and his ability to learn the offense, because the guy's apparently a friggin' genius.
no, it's true. I want to bring up what Mike McDaniel said on Trey Lance today. Um, let's go ahead and check that out real fast. Give me a second. Let me share the screen. Boom. Share audio. Boom. Boom.
That is that there's an element of confidence that is unique. I wouldn't say he's loud or boisterous. He has a confident swag that I think really appeals to players. He knows the pressure that's on him like any other player. Um, uh, so he really is really comfortable in his own skin, I'd say. Um, and he's getting to the point where he can correct other players, which from a coach's perspective is all you're looking for. You want a coach on the field, you know, person that a receiver is going to listen to much more than a coach is the guy that's throwing him the ball. So he's been very good with that, and I think a lot of the guys respond to that. There's an element.
All right. What do you think about that?
I mean, he sounds like one of those leaders that's kind of like a teacher, like you would have like
Yeah.
a cool high teacher in high school that
Mm-hmm.
like kind of takes you under their wing, kind of like that you look up to. He's at that kind of demeanor. It seems like he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be as much of a fiery guy as a leader. He's going
Yeah.
to be a more like more relaxed and calm type of guy, but he's going to like tell you how it is and what you need to do. That's what it sounds like to me. He just got one of those kind of like almost like a just like a laid back, like how like a surfer's type demeanor where he's laid back, but I think he's still got that leader ability, but he's got a more like laid back personality,
Mm-hmm.
uh, more like soft spoken probably.
Yeah, well, we also Michael Silver tweeted out earlier today too some impressions off Trey Lance from conversations I had. Head coach Kyle Shanahan spoke of the hidden horsepower I feel like he has. He hasn't played a ton of football, and I think he's only gonna get better as he gets older and the more reps he gets. Um, Linebacker Fred Warner said he looks great, man. I think he's very well composed, especially for his age. He's a young rookie. He's got all the skills that you want, all the talent. You see him out there running the rock a little bit. He's got the speed. Then Fred Warner also said he's also letting the rock fly. I like what I'm seeing so far. So I mean, the players are all praising Lance, which is what
Yeah.
I like to hear. I mean,
Hmm.
I think they're excited to see just Lance, start to play and for the future.
Hmm.
Um, which is the same thing as Snyder fans are saying. Um,
Well,
I mean,
I keep hearing about his speed, but I can't wait to see the fight when he gets in live gameplay and freaking runs the linebacker over. That's what I want to see. Because he's
yeah,
fast. He's fast, but he's not built like any of these other fast quarterbacks. He's got some thickness to him, so he's not just going to be like running fast and then you're going to take him down. He's going to run through you. I mean, he did it.
yep.
There's that one play he did in college where he ran right through the linebacker.
Yeah, I remember seeing that clip. Um,
So
Iwork said his play is probably the loudest thing about him, and the other players can see that,
mhm.
which is true. I mean, honestly, too, like even though it is training camp, I mean, even the media is talking about it. Oh, like what he's bringing to the table right now.
He's almost.
Um,
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like if you're going to compare him to a quarterback, I mean, I know we're comparing him to a great quarterback, but if you want to talk about demeanor and the way he leads by example and the way he's a leader, but a more soft-spoken leader, Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Like
I can actually see that. Now that you mentioned that,
like
I can
Peyton
definitely see
Manning's, he's more of a soft-spoken, like laid back kind of demeanor.
that. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I can see
where
that.
his play speaks loud. He leads by example with the way he plays. So that'd probably be a good comparison to the way that they're talking about, like how he's not, he's not Tom Brady where he's going to yell and scream at you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, Also too is I also want to announce too the Niners actually signed yesterday cornerback BW Webb. So we're getting some depth in that position. Um, what are we thinking about that?
I don't even know who that guy is. I mean, he sounds maybe familiar, but I'm not sure who he is. I thought we'd sign Drake Kirkpatrick. I thought that'd be a good pickup, and then we didn't. So
Yeah.
I I don't know what happened there, but maybe he wanted too much money. I don't know, but I was hoping we'd get him because even if, it's just nice to have that extra depth, and he could when he's on his game, he's really good. I mean, I know he could be the head case and have some really bad games, but I mean, when he's actually playing well, he's a good cornerback. So I was hoping we'd at
Yep.
least get a chance to get him out there, but that didn't work out. So I don't even know who Webb is or what team he played for. I'm thinking the
So
Vikings, but I don't know.
I think he did. Yeah. I think it could be the Vikings. I don't know. But I kind of want to go back on Trey real fast. Today, I was listening to KMBR, and Matt Miyoko and Greg Papa were talking on Greg Papa's show. Um, I'm gonna play it real fast, if you don't mind, and I want the chat and everybody to hear this, and give me your thoughts on it after we are done listening to it. Boom. All right.
Been covering this team and this league for a long, long time. Have you ever seen a rookie quarterback this special?
No, not even close. Not even close. No. And yes, I mean, I do want to pump the brakes and just, let's not get too carried away with it
Mm-hmm.
because they've only practiced in pads 2 days. But it's everything, he just has the right touch. He acts like a seasoned pro. He stands up there at the press conference and he answers your questions, and then you go back and look at what he said and you realize, wow, he didn't say anything, which is exactly what a quarterback should be, right? Look
Facts.
good, speak well, but really don't say a whole lot. The way he's been so deferential toward Jimmy Garoppolo, from what I understand, just all the work he's put in those 40 days, he left the facility. He came back a better football player. The 49ers, they said, hey, you're going to come back here and you're going to be watching film and you're going to be learning defenses and learning our offense and all that stuff. But on these 40 days away, let's work on some mechanical things. Here's some very specific mechanical things we want you to work on. And he did. And he came back. He's throwing the ball accurately. He's throwing the ball with pace when it needs to be drilled in there. He's throwing it with nice touch when it needs to be. Just the last 3 days, I think it's been, where he started running. Man, he just looks the part.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some crazy praise.
Yep. And going back to on what Matt Miyoko said about the 40 days that they were away, it's true. He worked with Mohamed Sanu. He practiced on his throwing, his mechanics on. He doesn't drop his arm all the way down anymore. You see it in training camp. I mean, the guy, like, as soon as you teach him something, he learns it fast. I
Yep.
mean, it's just crazy. I mean, a lot of people say this. And I kind of agree with it, but it's like a Patrick Mahomes 2.0.
Well, I mean, I just don't remember the last time I seen so much hype behind a quarterback, like a
Yeah,
rookie quarterback. Like
yeah,
I remember, like people are excited about the top picks, but I don't remember any of these other guys having so much hype right off the bat.
that's true. And like Miyoko said, we need to step on the brakes real quick. We need to like sit back because this is just training camp still, like we've been saying.
It just makes me wonder, though, with his ability and how fast he's learning, you know, could he start with day one and give us a Cam Newton's rookie season type of production?
Yeah, and we haven't had a quarterback like this since Steve Young,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
yeah, I mean, you look at it. Cam Newton came out and broke Peyton Manning's rookie record. His first game as a rookie. So I'm like, and
Yeah.
Lance is a better thrower of the football than Cam Newton was.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know. I know like it's a lot to say, but I mean, is there a possibility that they want him to start week one and see what he does? Like, I mean, we're playing the Lions too. Like, if there's any team to start your season against, it's the freaking Lions. Like, I'm not really worried about playing them.
Yeah. Well, I just want to see. I want to see how he does in preseason first. I mean, I want to get your thoughts on preseason too. By the way, with Jimmy G and Trey Lance, um, I want to say the first game against Kansas City. Um, how long do you think Jimmy's gonna play, and then how long do you think Trey's gonna get time?
Well, I assume they'll each get a quarter at least, especially for the first game. They have to at least get a quarter.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Jimmy will probably start with the ones. Lance is probably going to have to play with the twos,
okay.
probably most likely. But I don't think that'll happen all three games. Like I do think there'll be a time where Lance gets to play with the ones, so we could see what he can do. But
S- So I was gonna ask you that. So do you see Lance possibly playing with the ones against the Raiders? I think they played them week 3
yeah, I do.
or preseason week 3.
I think so because even Kyle said like he expects the starters to still play in the third
Yeah.
preseason game, the
Hmm.
final preseason game. So I do think that we'll see. We'll get to see him play. We'll get a real good look because I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to play a whole half just so we can kind of see what he can
Yeah.
do. And that's kind of what I think that game there is what possibly would tell Kyle what he wants to do.
Yeah. Oh, and then also too is they have this is the first time in a while they have a 2-week gap between preseason and the first week of the regular season as well. So I mean, we could even possibly see Jimmy G play a half or something as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I'm like everybody else. I'm excited to see Trey in the preseason. See what he brings to the table, and I'm excited for the future.
I mean, a great scenario would be, if Lance wins the job and he starts, you know, there's injuries happen, and throughout the year, what if a good team loses their quarterback?
Hmm.
We have the leverage, and they're going to want to trade for Jimmy G halfway through the season, even if Jimmy G's the backup. He's a starter that's backing up. That's a backup right now. So if Lance somehow does win the job and another team's quarterback goes down, and they're still trying to make the playoffs, we have all the leverage. We could get a pretty good haul for Jimmy in that scenario.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and people are saying like this whole thing about this whole rumor with Jimmy G, them wanting to or the Colts trading for Jimmy G and like that. I'm just like, where are you getting this from? Like Jimmy G is our starter, and he's going to be until otherwise. Like I've been saying, I don't know why people keep getting all crazy and saying like, oh, Jimmy G's whack. We don't want him anymore. Da, 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 da. I'm like, you
Mm-hmm.
guys like just you got to believe in Jimmy G. He has a winning record when he plays.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's just sit back and see what happens. I'm happy
Yeah,
either way. Like I'm just kind of rolling with it's like a roller coaster, and you're just rolling
yeah,
with the flow.
with the
It
flow
is
exactly.
it's an emotional roller coaster for a lot of people too. Like it is a roller coaster, whether it's emotional,
Yeah.
whether whatever. It's you just kind of roll with it though, instead of like trying to jump off. Just roll with it and see what happens. Like stop trying to freaking
Yeah.
Jimmy this, Trey this. Like just go, just be happy. I mean, if we're winning, who cares? Just be happy with whatever happens and just enjoy the ride.
Yep. Exactly.
If Kyle thinks Lance is ready, he'll put him in because he knows what he's doing. So
Yeah. It's just like he knew what he was doing during the draft.
exactly, just be happy. Like so many people are like this side or this. I'm like, dude, I'm on the side of the Niners and winning football games.
Exactly.
That's the only side anybody should be on.
For the team.
Exactly. Like if Jimmy's a starter and we're winning, let's
Yeah.
go. If Trey's a starter and we're winning, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
As long
happy
as we're
either way.
winning and going to the playoffs and possibly winning a Super Bowl, I'm happy. You know?
and that's coming from a guy who every time Jimmy throws the ball cringes. And I still technically like Jimmy, but I still get nervous every time he throws the ball. But I still I'll go with the flow, and whoever's quarterback is quarterback.
Yeah, I think Jimmy G needs to get out of his head and at least try to learn how to throw further than 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he did learn from the best when it comes to that.
Yes.
He
Yes.
did sit behind Dr. Dink and Dunk himself.
That's true.
So.
That's true. That's true. I was gonna ask you too. I believe it was yesterday's practice. Jimmy stayed after practice and practiced on his throws. What do you think that was about?
I mean, they just showed one throw, so I mean,
Yeah,
not a lot of context, but
yeah, but I mean,
he should be working on his deep ball. That should be he should have been
he
working on it. He should have been working on it since he missed the deep ball that would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that he doesn't have that great of a deep ball, so he should be working on it a bit. He's got a good mid-range ball, like halfway.
No, he does. He does.
I mean, like that one in the Super Bowl where he dumped a Kittle, like he's got some ability to make some throws. It's just whether he can be consistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he needs to be working on, the consistency.
Yeah. I think he's just like we talked about before. He's just in his head with his past injuries, and he's scared to get hurt again.
Well, yeah, and it feels like his injuries and stuff, and like his lack of confidence makes it so where he can't get in a rhythm where he can just keep making those throws.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's like he has that ability. He has that ability to be Drew Brees, where you like when you watch Drew Brees, he gets in that rhythm where you just can't stop him, and it's just throw after throw. Because we watched Jimmy do it against the Saints.
Yeah,
we watched him we watched him out Breeze in that game.
Yeah, that's true.
So he can do it, but his lack of confidence and his possibly being in his own head because of the injuries doesn't allow him to do it. But he has the capability if he could just trust himself and be confident. He can get in a rhythm and make the throws.
Yep. I mean, we're just gonna keep saying it. We gotta wait till preseason and see what happens. So I just wanna bring this up a little bit. Out of the DBs, I mean, how you think Jason Verrett is going to do this season?
MVP. He won't win it, but dude, he's gonna be
MVP style.
He'll get overlooked just like he did last year, but defensive player of the year, good.
Okay.
He shut down
that happening too.
Dude, look what he did. He freaking straight up shut down Hopkins. Hopkins was the best receiver. He was the best receiver in the NFL last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was freaking phenomenal, and he shut him down.
Mm-hmm. He sure did.
He shuts down everybody. He shuts down everybody. So, I mean, when he's healthy, he shuts down everybody.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he does this year for sure. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It was great to be back. We talked a lot about some training camp, quarterback situation. First preseason game starts tomorrow night. Steelers and Cowboys. Wish it was the Niners, but
Me
that's
too.
okay. um, but we're gonna let everybody know we're actually going to go live during the first preseason game next Saturday. So come check us out. It's gonna be fun live stream. And we're gonna talk about what we see during the game and um, our opinions on it, and we love to get your guys' opinions as well during the game. So come check that out. Other than that, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. Sorry it's been so long since we've been live, but we are back and we're gonna be on a lot more. So um, come hang out with us, comment any questions, you know, put them on the comment list. But other than that, once again, follow us on Instagram, Forever Faithful Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, FFPod49, and like us on Facebook, Forever Faithful Podcast. Also, like and subscribe on YouTube. We really appreciate it, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See ya.